As a quick follow-up to our video that we did on how to tiller, where I look at the overall aspects of how to tiller and perhaps some of the more esoteric problems involved with tillering, I'm going to look a bit at some of the actual practicalities. This is a very, very quick video just showing you how you're supposed to look at the stave. And as my father always described to me when I was apprenticed to him, it's the difficulty of trying to actually spread your eyes across the bow, being able to see both limbs at the same time as you bend them, to give you an idea of how they're bending in comparison to each other, where to find the various stiff spots or where it's bending more than the other. So I've got my bow on the tiller here, and now this is important that this is the first time it's gone onto the tiller. So I've got the string obviously completely loose, the bow isn't braced up at all. So I'm just going to see what we can see from this first bend. Now obviously you don't want to be bending the bow much, in fact not bending it much past the set back that we've already put into the bow. As you can see, I'm pretty much just taking it to where the bow is flat. Now I don't know whether you can already start to see that there is some difference in the shape. Let me just pull it a little bit more and a little bit more, and you'll start to see where it's stiff and where it's bending more, hopefully. As you perhaps can't see that, what I'll tell you is what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at is the handle section, or more pertinently perhaps a foot to a foot and a half on the top limb. So this limb here, there's stiffness to the right of the handle up to just past the node that you can see on the back of the bow there of the top limb, and on the bottom limb probably 8 inches or so on this the handle section of the bottom limb there is stiff. So as far as practicalities, which is to say really is what I'm talking about in this video, is I would see where it's stiff, I'll go up to the stave with a pencil. In this case I have already marked it, I don't know whether you can see that, but I've marked from here. Just make a series of marks, and again on here where I believe the bow to be stiff. So again I'll have a look at that again, just double check that I'm happy that's where it's stiff and where some needs coming off. Now some of you may be saying, oh well, it's stiff elsewhere as well. Well, at the moment those are the areas that are the most stiff that I'm going to want to deal with before I work on anything else. So I would then take the bow off the tiller, I would work on those areas that I've marked, then put the bow back up and see where we are from there. That's the basic principle of the practicalities of tillering. Look at the bow, do a little bit at a time, mark the bow where you want to remove some wood, and alternatively you can also develop different marks. So you may want to circle an area perhaps where you want to leave, where it might be bending too much, whereas it's bending here, so I don't want to touch that area anymore until I've got rid of these stiff sections. So maybe develop your own marking system so you know what you're doing. You never know when the phone's going to go, or one of the kids is going to be ill, or the dog's going to run off, and you're going to come back and you're going to find you've no idea where you are or what the marks mean. So make sure you've got a system so you know what you're up to and what you're doing with the bow at that time. I hope that helps.